Hello and welcome back, and that is right, it's coming up on Black Friday once again, and well, let's face it, Black Friday ain't a day no more, and a lot of websites do run offers and promotions well in advance of actual Black Friday. So next week we will be doing our usual big video where we sift through all of the deals available on the day itself, where there's some of the best promos. But in advance of that, we thought we'd make this video where we go through some of the early kind of preview deals that are available online on a myriad of different websites around the world, to give you some understanding and some help with some of the best solutions available right now that me and Eddie at NAS Compares would personally buy. We do it every year, and we do this to fundraise our efforts at NAS Compares. This video will not be monetized, it doesn't have any ads, but a lot of the links that we're going to talk about are affiliated. We get a small commission from the sales that go through there, and it allows us to keep doing what we do. But keep in mind, not all of them are. There's actually several websites that we're going to talk about with great promos that NAS Compares is going to make sod all out of, and we only include them just to give you a better understanding of the deals that are out there, but also so you've got a good solution in your back pocket. So let's crack back to the page. Again, all of the offers that I found, some of which in the last hour or so, will be added to the main early deals website. This is some of the ones that we're going to talk about today, but there's some absolute bangers that have appeared on my radar in the last hour or so. Probably some of the best deals thus far. Number one, 28 TB drive here from B&H at $449. It's got there the deal on the front. Again, it wasn't originally $749, but it was definitely in the 600 or so mark. So again, for 28 terabytes of storage there, that's not some, it's not a SMR drive. That is a great amount of storage and a fantastic deal for a large amount of data. Next up, again, personal shout out here, Unifi Drive UT2, talked about it before. It's one I use when I'm out on the go. People ask about it. That mobile NAS drive that we featured on the channel before is now down to $399 during Black Friday. Also, hopefully there's from the previous video that we did, we've got a 5% off deal there with a promo code that I hopefully linked in the description below, along with all of the links to everything we're going to talk about today. So if you were intrigued by that device and you missed out on it when it was on Kickstarter, again, I recommend it. I love it, but look at some reviews online first if you don't quite know what a mobile NAS is. Next up, we'll be coming back to them. Love them or hate them in 2025, Synology have gone balls to the wall with offers right now during Black Friday, with a lot of them launching today. This is an example from Amazon UK, but pretty much all of the 2025 lineup have seen substantial discounts. Keep in mind, by the way, this is the UK, the tax is included on screen. So that price has actually got the 20% tax on top. That is their 925 Premier 4-bay, again, down to $472 with tax. So when that lists on the US, I'm willing to bet that's going to be on there, but we'll come around to some of the US offers later. And finally, we've got the LincPlus N2. This is a 4 M.2 NVMe 2x SATA SSD powered system running on the N100 Intel chip. It also has 10 gigabit network on the rear and 16 gig of memory. And alongside that, it has an Unraid software license as well. And that is rocking out. Again, that's with the tax. So if you do head over to that website, make sure you select the top, select your region. So if you're based in the US, click it there, and then it'll give you the price. It's $429 there in the US. Phenomenal deal there for that kind of hardware. Again, we still use this on the channel as one of our test machines in the background for Proxmox. Can't recommend it enough. Also, alongside our main page that's got some of these early deals, keep in mind we've also got pages to a lot of the UGREEN deals. Again, they have gone balls to the wall with a lot of their discounts. Again, we'll be going through some of the standout ones later on. Alongside them, just like every year, Terramaster are also running a lot of promos on theirs, and that's pretty much the entire range. I think some of those offers go up to 25%. And a website that we're currently working with right now, and a project coming up in the future, Wattgeek, are running a lot of promos on their mini PC. So if you're looking for something, to run pfSense, run Proxmox, and you're looking for a mini PC in order to do that, as well as Asustor as well, they're running a series of different Black Friday deals. They'll be linked in the description below. Fast forwarding time, let's talk about Amazon US and Black Friday. And straight out the gate, this is the most I've ever seen Synology engage with Black Friday. Now again, whether that's because potential sales of the 25 generation series after the hard drive support stuff kind of were dipping, one way or another, Synology have engaged. Now, right now, the 1525 Plus, arguably one of the best in that 2025 2025 series of devices is down 14% here. I would argue is the best deal of the lot. Again, every single one of the 2025 generation devices are on promo right now. And even though, again, the 925 normally has been the one I would have recommended the most, and at 552, that's not a terrible price. And even the 1825 Plus, which is essentially the previous generation device with 2.5 gig, of the pick of the litter, I would say, is that 5 bay. Again, the expandability, the fact you can add 10 GBE, the ECC support, the works. Everything about it is just generally a nice middle road, and if you're kind of wanting to invest in the Synology ecosystem, it's a great little pick. Nonetheless, again, we have seen offers on Synology products in different regions, and of course over on B&H as well. Moving forward, our next offer is to do with Sabrent and their USB 4 to 10 gig adapter. Arguably, there are Thunderbolt 3 to 10 gig adapters in the market, but they use an older controller, and with USB 4 and Thunderbolt 4, the way bandwidth is actually a little more flexible than it was in TB3. Adapters with the newer generation controllers are actually not that cheap if you go for the real ones where you can leverage a lot of the PCIe lane distribution advantages. Again, 45% off, I'd say that's more like 25% off, but it's still a pretty good price. Even when you look through available adapters that support USB 4 and Thunderbolt 4, you can definitely tell the difference between the ones that are actually Thunderbolt 3 being kind of upsold with their naming convention changed there. But still, nonetheless, it's still one of the lower cost options in the market right now in terms of having that ease of access to 10 GBE without using a PCIe card. Next up, back to QNAP here with their 4 bay. Again, it's looking a little old, but it is still a great system, as I've already described. And arguably at 469, the 8 gig model there is still an absolute banger. PCIe upgradability, 2.5 gig out the gate, support of ZFS software. It's fantastic stuff. Moving forward, Asustor, again, one of the darlings of 2023 and going into 2024. The Flashstor 6 is still a very popular device. And at $400 for a 6 bay M.2 NVMe system, and again, you can get the 10 gig model as well with 12 bays, it's still pretty competitively priced. And even now, in 2025, $400 for this, and it's a turnkey solution, all of the apps and bells and whistles. It's very appealing. Changing gear ever so slightly, let's move over to the portable routers with GLINet. Again, we talked about the Slate 7, a Wi-Fi 7 portable router. Keep in mind it does not support the 6 GHz band, but it does have all of the other advantages of Wi-Fi 7 with the latency, packet control, security, and of course MLO, multi-link output, combining a number of those streams into higher performing connections. Down to $120 here, or $120.99, it's still pretty darn affordable, even against Wi-Fi 7 standalone routers. But moving forward with GLINet products, probably my favourite router, and one I talk about all the time, the Puli AX. For those that follow the channel know, this is a SIM router that not only has 2 slots and support of an SD card, it also has support of 2.5 gig, it has a removable battery, and serves of both a static and mobile router for you to take on the go and then redeploy in your office space. It's not taking advantage of Wi-Fi 7, but given this system was $500 at launch, 331 for this is pretty darn appealing. Next up, let's talk about SSDs. Now, again, there are going to be a lot of SSD deals closer to the Black Friday actual day itself, but if you are looking at SSD upgrades for a NAS or even just a standalone large-scale OS drive, I've looked at the best value 8 TBs right now, and it comes down to these two. It's the WD Black 8 TB. This is a Gen 4 x 4 SSD that, although it's not listed as a promo, I think this is a drive that's going to see a promo very, very soon because I've seen it bubble to the surface. So if it is $679 right now, that's still not a terrible price for an 8 TB M.2 SSD with the performance this one promises, but don't completely commit to this one yet because I do think this is going to see a better price in the next week or so. I include it here as guidance. But for Gen 5 buyers, if you want 8 TB right now, this is legitimately the best Gen 5 drive deal I could find. This is the Samsung 9100 Pro. It's a Gen 5 x 4 SSD. Again, steady performance. We've reviewed this very drive, in fact, the 8 TB. And this arriving without the heatsink at $749, I know it's a lot of money for an 8TB drive, let's be realistic, but this is a Gen 5 drive with sustained high performance, decent durability, and from a brand a lot of people know have got a lot of experience with in-house design. And again, it's the lowest priced Gen 5 8TB I could find that I would genuinely buy. Now moving forward, we can talk a little bit more about some of the standard deals. Of course, UGREEN are going to have this promo running on and on here in the US. And alongside Terramaster, I would still recommend things like the F8 SSD Plus NAS, which is that lovely little 8-bay there. Again, all M.2s, 639, and it's 10 GBE with the i3 8-core and 10 gig network on the rear. It's a decent little box. But circling back to UGREEN, we mentioned earlier on that they've got a lot of discounts on the game right now, and that is true, and it's pretty much across all the different websites. Now, again, we've got a lot of the offers that are currently available right now in the US and UK listed here on screen to give you some understanding about the deals that are currently going to be rolling during that Black Friday week, 2-week event. It's gone bonkers these days, hasn't it? But the two standouts for me, number one is that DXP4800 Plus. Let's refresh that page in case anything's changed. And it is $559 without the tax. And remember, that is their Pentium-powered 4-bay there. It's got 10 GBE. It's got 2 Gen 4 NVMe's. I hate seagulls. But alongside that, if you're interested in a UGREEN 4-bay, this is a lovely offer. This is for that 8-core, technically 2 4-core ARM processor, an 8 gig DDR4 4-bay system. Very low impact in terms of noise, heat generation and power consumption, and a pretty bloody capable box running the majority of their operating system software features. But keep in mind, this is not a system I would recommend flashing or even attempting to flash with TrueNAS or Unraid. I had a punt at trying to install Open Media Vault on it with the little success. But again, if you're interested in using their software and what they're about right now, even if you only use it as a second-tier remote backup archive, at $339 for a 4-bay, that's pretty bloody good. Circling back to Terramaster there, they've got their own deals on their own website, as well as a bunch of other websites like Amazon as well. Their new 2026 generation 4-bay there, that's the one that's got 4 hard drive bays, 3 M.2 NVMe bays, 16 gig of DDR5 memory, and rocking out with that Intel N150 CPU. That's a decent little 4-bay, and again, at sub $500, going down to $455.99. Their previous generation, or I say previous year release 6-bay device there, the F6 Max, that's got 2 10 gig ports, an Intel 10 core processor, a pile of memory, and it's just generally for $799. It's one of the best 6-bay offers at the moment. Alongside that, Minisforum are getting in on the act, and although their N5 is on offer, and I will come round to that in a wee moment, I will say right now, at least as far as their own website is concerned, for me the best offer right now is that MS01 workstation, something we talk about on the channel quite a lot, and you can get it pre-populated with a 12th gen i9 now for $479. Remember, that is the one with 3 M.2 slots, 2 10 gig ports, 2 USB 4 ports, again supporting a low profile but Gen 4 x 8 PCIe slot, physical x 16. I love that little box. It gets used for everything here. It's over there in the test right now. For those of a DIY frame of mind, CWWK has made offers of up to 25. I think I even found a couple of 30% discounts on a number of their DIY NAS Mobos. And I would say probably the best two there for the easy access into a lot of the features there, but low price, are going to be this, the P6, a little tiny 4 x M.2 NVMe flash system there. Again, also arriving with that i3 8-core processor, the Twin Lake one. Again, it's at that price, $195, and again, that's the N15 model. If you go to the N355, it does creep up to $315, but again, $200 for that 4-bay there, and that is a lovely little box, very compact. Whether that is you're going to be running small Proxmox, Jellyfin or Plex, you're going to be running pfSense, or even an OpenWRT system if you want to take advantage of one of their small M.2 slots there for a Wi-Fi card. It's a lovely entry point into DIY. Alongside that, if you want to go full DIY with an MITX, one of the most popular boards that we've ever talked about on the channel this year. This one, it is the N150 or N355 MITX motherboard there. This is the one that not only arrives with two M.2 NVMe slots there and the Wi-Fi card slot separately, but it also has a 10 gig network slot as well, a network port there on the rear alongside 2.5 gigabit Ethernet 2. So again, as far as MITX motherboards, again, rocking out at 215 with the CPU already pre-attached with all of those different options. Also supporting up to 8 SATA drives. It's a lovely MITX motherboard, and again, there's a reason this is still one of the most popular boards we talk about on the channel this year. Another brand we talked about this year, Zima or Ice Whale, along with a bunch of their solutions. Again, not many of their solutions have a meaningful offer on them, at least at the time of recording, but if you head over, you can get hold of that Zima Blade, one of their small micro boards, the one that looks like a cassette deck. You can now get that one, the 7700 version, for as little as $169 there. And again, you can get that further discount if you apply for a further $10 off there if you use that code. Again, worldwide delivery available from what I understand. Heading over to B&H, we've already talked about them earlier on in the video. We can dig a little bit more into their sales. Number one, again, the Synologies. Pretty much every single Synology is going to be on offer via either a promo code or that seasonal holiday discount there. So if you were interested in the Synology 2025 series and you haven't been put off by the brand after that PR nightmare that was 6 months of hard drive compatibility and support, we can talk about that another day. Now they do support other drives and you can use anything without warnings on the system, but I know a lot of users have still turned their back on this brand. Again, the majority of the 2025 series of devices are all seeing discounts there. We already talked about the 925, but also that little 2-bay that's rocked out with the frankly ancient J4 125 CPU is included, but keep in mind the video driver has now been removed. Sigh. Still, nonetheless, if you are interested in this brand for the software, I do think it's fair to give them a shake to say that that 5-bay that can be upgraded to 10 GB and already has 2.5 gig out the gate is now down to 639, and on top of that, even the 8-bay has been reduced down. I say reduced, it's not a vast discount. I definitely disagree with this price tag, and I know you might think I've been very hard on this. I do still think their software is absolutely great, but I do think people still need to have the full picture there. Moving forward, we can talk a little bit there after looking at those Synologies at QNAP, another brand I think a lot of users either love or hate. Still, nonetheless, I still absolutely champion this 4-bay. It's been an absolute goer here in the studio for the general, I think it's 3.5 years at this point that we've had it. And that is the device rocking out with 8 gig of memory at 469. So again, whether you go for the 2-bay or even if you go, by the way, for the 6-bay, which is also on offer, that's a very competitive price for the QNAP device that also supports now ZFS in QUTS, 8 camera licenses in QVR Pro. There's a lot to love there. Next up, over to Amazon. As mentioned earlier on in the video, I'm not going to be covering all the regions. Next week, we'll be doing that in a lot more detail. But at least for now, I can tell you that some of the offers I'm going to talk about now are available pretty much globally, with the exception of 1 or 2 that I will highlight. Again, whether it is you're looking in Germany, you're looking in Amazon Spain, you're going to see the same things over and over again, at least at the moment. Again, I went to different ones. I think the US is about to wake up, so we'll add those in the video as well. Whether I've put it in before or after this, I'll let you know when it's post-edited. But at the very least right now, probably the ones that stand out is things like this across the majority of the European regions, and I'm sure it'll be the US as well. That neat little UGREEN UPS that, again, I know a lot of you are asking about the follow-up video. I'm trying to get something tacked onto the end of that one. Is seeing a promo there. And again, it supports everything but the 6 and the 8-bay device currently in order for you to add that integrated UPS with your UGREEN system there. And by the way, it does work with a few other NAS brands, but we've not tested them all yet. But again, it's a great price and it is on offer in pretty much everywhere right now on the respective Amazons. Some of them we've already talked about there. The QNAPs and the Synologies that we just covered from B&H are on offer again, because this is the UK. Keep in mind that tax. The same goes for all of the European regions as well. They display with tax included, because frankly, that's the best way to do it, America. But again, pretty much all of the systems we talked about thus far, with the inclusion of a few value systems like this one, are now available. I'll link to it in the description below. And Synology, once again, maybe it is because of questionable sales during the 2025 period, but all of the 2025 generation are on promo in the majority of European regions, with those Black Friday deals of between 15 and 20%. Moving forward from there, UGREEN as well are going ball to the wall still with their discount. So again, if you were looking at any turnkey NAS solution in 2025, pretty much all of the turnkeys are seeing between 15 and 25% price drops there. And by the way, that includes even up to this, the Minisforum N5 Pro, a system we have talked about a lot on the channel that stock-wise has been largely unavailable in some regions, but this is the Pro version, so that's with the highfalutin CPU there inside. But remember, this includes the tax as well. And although that says just 5% off, I'll say right now, given that that launched at $1,000 without tax, that's quite a hefty little discount there. And again, it has seen a gradual price drop when it moved away from their own website onto e-tailers like Amazon, but still not a terrible price there. Although again, stock, depending where you are in the world, is still a little patchy. And finally, we already talked about that big old 28 TB drive, but for those that are looking for a simple USB plug and good to go, the 22 TB WD Elements drive right now is down to $311. Again, includes the tax. Not the best deal I've seen out there, and there are some other offers. But I think when it comes to storage hard drives, SSDs and USB externals, generally during Black Friday, those are when they're left right to the 11th hour. And right now in the age of AI, when hard drives and SSDs are selling for well above traditional prices, you're not going to see a huge number of them. You're going to see the odd spiky deal, but not really much more than that. But there you go, those are the best early Black Friday deals that I could find right now on the 20th of November 2025. Now, just a quick reminder here at the end, earlier this year I did release a video on the best NAS that you can get for under $249. We also did another one for under $500 or $499. And again, both of those are still pretty relevant. I stand by most of the things. I would have changed one or two of them in the last month or so of release. But again, you can check those out and they'll be linked below. And remember, some of the best deals that we talked about today are the ones we mentioned at the beginning. Other than that, I will see you next week when we do our big Friday, Black Friday video. And I recommend you check that out, of course. And alongside that, we've also got the deals page that Eddie updates regularly along with a bunch of other community members with different deals and offers as they appear. So I recommend you check that out. But of course, thank you so much for watching. This video, like all of the Black Friday and Prime Day videos, is about supporting the work that me and Eddie do here, the free advice section, the articles, the blogs and more. So all of the links are affiliated, well, most of them are, and we end up getting a small commission on any of those, which allows us to keep doing what we do. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.